pick it up.
Probably
That,
cut it in half. I mean,
but then you factor in people who want to go to the convenience sites and they can if they please.
You have to charge for a can.
Yeah.
You have to probably charge about $100 for a can.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
how many days do they pick up in town?
2.
2 days? Monday and Thursday? So they do half the town?
What did you say, the median house value, tax value was what, 175?
176, 300.
And what did that come out to, a 3-cent increase?
It's $669.94 a year average.
Taxes
Taxes for in the town at 38 cents
versus,
versus
wasn't it just 50 or 70 bucks difference per household? Where I'm going with that, if you do tax rate increase instead of the solid waste increase, then your Walmart, your Ideal Furniture, your businesses are carrying a bigger burden of that load than your residents are,
that's a $52 a year increase.
versus 7, 712 is
I mean,
That averages out to
nice. If you get a full 7.
that's a $4.33 increase a month on your taxes.
So
If you're
it's
budgeted
just
out
a
per
hair
month,
more than half.
if your property on average, the average median property value is 176, 300 in the town. On average, you would have to budget an extra $4.33 a month to pay your property tax bill if we increased it 3 cents. All right, so what information do you all need from me for, we'll have another budget workshop in April. And we'll need to make a decision then on which path forward we want to take the trash. And the revenue down. What information do you want me to get for that? So to present to you all so we all can make a decision.
So our choices are add $7 to the environmental fee,
Right.
okay? Or drop trash pickup altogether, right?
That is an option.
Or add 3 cents to the tax.
Or add 3-cent increase,
Tax rate president,
yeah,
which brings it to you said $4.33 a month if you're staying permanent,
Yeah,
That's how
on,
average.
because the average median property value is 176. I mean, there's some less than that, there's some more than that, but on average, it would be
so if you add $7 to make the cost break even, where there's no cost to the town. There's people that are paying $22 in addition to their water and sewer bill that don't use trash pickup, but they probably every now and then set something out or put brush out or push their leaves out, and so they really do need to be paying an environmental fee anyway, unless they're in an apartment complex where the apartments are doing all that kind of stuff.
But and that's charged to the property management group, who then charges each individual.
Puts it in
resident.
their rent. So, or drop all trash pickup, which means that
Where you-
all citizens lose a service. But we end up with a plus $60-some thousand gain. to do that.
If we got rid of the fee altogether, if you left the fee, it's say $3 to $5 for your brush and limb, that generates,
100 and something.
it would generate $5 a customer a month. So,
We find
So
that's
that's
60,000, so you'd make about 100, if you did away with the service and let the environmental fee, which then takes off $10 on the minimum bill, so it increases revenue 120,000.
If we got rid of the recycling, or altogether.
It would be all together, but leave a $5 fee for brush and limb.
And white goods.
Yeah.
So,
Or increased taxes.
so that 3 cent increase in taxes is cheaper than a $7 increase for our citizens.
Generally, that's roughly the same.
It's on the other.
For the individual.
For the average
citizen.
Yes, average individual, depends on the house size.
It's gonna cost them around 5 something, right?
Yeah.
A 3% tax increase.
Well, 50 something dollars a year.
Whereas the environmental fee would be $22.
Well, you're saying
Like
$4,
5 times.
you're saying an increase of $4.33 average.
Yes.
A month on your property. Which comes up to about 50
So
something.
if we have the environmental fee, it's $7 a month.
So they're saving us $2 a month.
Increased taxes.
And if you outline your taxes, you can write your taxes off on your federal income tax.
They're not gonna see that.
I'm just saying, if you wanna speak, we can
That's
speak.
Mr. Nice down there.
What's the, what did you say earlier about with the option to, just drop recycling?
We would still probably be roughly 20,000 deficit.
So we would still need to, if we drop recycling, we would still increase the environmental fee to $2-3. Probably.
Yes.
And if we drop the trash pickup altogether, Republic will come over here and collect all these ugly blue trash cans from everywhere, right?
Unless someone
Well,
that
no.
contracts with them.
Yeah, if somebody contracts with them, they would keep the trash can.
If you drop the recycling, they would definitely come get the recyclable can because they're identified on the lids as different.
Right.
Alright, so I have 4 options, so we'll just work to crunch some more numbers.
What did you have as the 4th one? I've got add $7 to the environmental, drop all trash pickup altogether, or increase the tax rate,
Drop recycle.
Just drop recycling.
oh, just drop
You
recycling.
But that's not gonna fix it.
If you would still,
Right.
we would drop recycling and then still need to increase the fee
Yeah,
$2 to $3.
so we don't even need to consider that one.
I don't think that's a,
Right, that's not a viable option.
Okay.
but I still don't fix it.
Alright, we're good.
One other quick question about that. When we get who negotiates with the Republic? Is there somebody in the town that negotiate with them?
We don't really negotiate.
They have a franchise, and so they can go up on the fees every year until the
That's called
franchise
monopoly.
goes.
It's like Duke
It's a
Energy.
monopoly,
It's a
yeah.
monopoly.
We
That's the
pay
problem.
what they say.
That's the problem.
It's
Well,
like
it's-
Spectrum.
Yeah.
Spectrum
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
So you send out the RFQ for that franchise.
So by them franchise, doesn't mean that can somebody else come in and have their own business?
No.
And pick up, that's a monopoly.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, but
Even the liquor store is a monopoly.
You're
Like
It's a
liquor
straight
is
run
No, the
monopoly.
liquor store's not a monopoly because you can go anywhere else you want to and buy your liquor.
Not here though, not this.
But
No,
what's
but you can go
the
to Statesville and buy your liquor.
the
I can go
franchise?
anywhere I want to and buy my liquor, but I have to have them pick up my trash.
Don't put
That's
that in the
monopoly.
notes. that he said. Don't put that in.
That you buy liquor in Statesville?
There's plenty of people in town that
I'm
do.
not drinking.
I gotta be talking
Me, I knew what you're saying, no.
How long the franchise contract is for?
Yeah.
Is that soon?
I'll get it. It's, I think I know where it's at. I don't know what.
Let's back that out. There should be a time limit on what the franchise contract is for, and then whoever, I guess the county put out that RFQ for that, did the town do one as well, or did we just piggyback?
I don't know the last time that we renewed it.
I'm just saying, this is a good opportunity to see a young man or a young lady to start a business up for 2 or 3 days a week and tell the town total will make $120,000 a year.
Yeah, you only one.
Exactly. I'm just
All they'll do is
saying.
invest in a trash truck and they can become their own independent business. I mean, I don't get that.
Well, the other thing you negotiate if you, in the franchise later on, set your increases based off of CI, or the consumer price index, or be able to know what your increases will be, rather than us sitting here waiting for them to send in that percentage.
But they know they've got you, so they can.
Right.
It would be
And
good
that's what's
to,
wrong with it.
if we could come up with if we could get past this franchise thing, to incentivize somebody in town, like a young man or a young woman, say, interview them, whatever, come, bring me your bid, and do something like that with a local young person, say, this is like an initiative to help, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be a fantastic program. Plus it would help the town out too. I mean, incentivize young people to get funding in their own.
Did somebody say that our contract with Republic comes up in 2 to 3 years?
That's what you guys want to check.
Oh, she's gonna check, okay.
The county's comes up. I would say ours will be coming up too.
Cause ours is individually,
Yeah.
separate from the county. I was
The
separate.
Republic is owned by the mafia. That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Which mafia?
This Republic is owned by the mafia. That's the rumor.
Which
The
mafia?
Gaston
That's
family.
more than
Or
one.
not, yeah.
I understand organized crime, my brother-in-law belongs to one that's.
We'll move on a little bit while she's getting that. Currently, our grant projects are well underway. Our strategic plan, we've been working on it. Our street resurfacing project is currently, we're reworking that contract with, Country Boy is the main general contractor with, what's the name of the other one? That's the.
JT Russell.
JT Russell is a subcontractor contractor on it. So once all that paperwork is finalized, we'll send that to us and we can present that to you all. Because you'll have to approve it in another meeting and we can sign it. And they can put us on the schedule to continue with that. Merger and regionalization study of our utility infrastructure and our water asset inventory and our sewer collection system assessment are currently well underway and they're in the hands of the engineers, so we should be done with those this summer, right? Hopefully.
Yes, if we don't close the Western Merger and Regionalization and Water AIA at the end of this fiscal year, just early on in the next fiscal year, we should.
Is this it, First Amendment, it's 5 years from 22? That's all I had in either files.
By the way, resurfacing of streets is gonna be a big project in the future. Because we're behind on it. But of course, this is the street resurfacing that we have in planning right now is gonna help. There's still a lot of streets that haven't been resurfaced.
We're way behind on all infrastructure.
Except
30 years
water.
behind.
And we'd like to look at doing some type of, trail feasibility study and a master plan for, Mathis
We talked about
Oh,
that.
that was the money.
to improve. A lot of that's it's gonna require some grant funding, with a little bit of cash match from the town. We'll look at it in the future, but how can we, as we've talked about as a budget retreat, promoting the town and bringing, and elevating the tourism aspect and marketing ourselves and getting people here, what can we do to improve our assets and bring people here? So can we add things to
I'm
the
wondering if
park?
our original franchise.
Pickleball courts, or basketball court, or
Dog park.
a dog park that's in an area. Do we wanna pave the walking track that's out there? Do we want, if we eventually have a greenway in town, do we want it to connect to the park that we have? Where does it go? So those are things that we wanna look at, projects we wanna take on in the future. We just gotta continue to do some research. And get some funding to do those types of things.
We even discussed maybe even having some events there instead of
Copy of the bill.
here, you know, promoting our park.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where people could just bring blankets and things and sit out there and listen to a concert, you know, those kind of things. Nice, yeah.
And then, utility projects, Aaron put together a list that we, submitted to our legislature for about $5.6 million worth of water and sewer, upgrades, and that was read on the Senate floor, probably about a month ago, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago. We've talked about a public works facility that may, we're continuing to prioritize that need, against the needs of water and sewer line replacements. We look at, completely rebuilding the Belleville lift station, which would improve our interconnect with the county and the city of Hickory, for resiliency purposes, in case we needed, to purchase water, from the aspect if something were to happen. We need to replace the main water line going through, the town, and upgrade that to a 12-inch line. Improving our, water line along Highway 16, and then, the interconnect on the east side of town, where we connect to Energy United and their infrastructure. They're upgrading that line from 6 to 12 inch. So that's projects we'll continue to do research on and apply for funding for, so that we can improve those in the future. All right. In your packet, you have a rough draft of, this will be our public facing document for our capital improvement plan, and structure that. You should see our seal on the front page of that. The first page is table of contents, and then I've got just a message in there, a couple of pages on why we have a public facing document, why we have a capital plan, what it funds. Y'all can read over that and tell me what you think. But this will be something that once we get it finalized for this budget workshop and our next budget workshop, and continue to put things together and prioritize, it'll be something that you will adopt along with the budget. So if you look at the first spreadsheet that's in the packet, it should be the spreadsheet that's the full page. At the top it'll say overview of fiscal years 2023 through 2027. I should change that. That needs to be 2025 through 2029. Want that. But this is, I have these broken up in several different items. This is public facilities, transportation, parks and recreation, community development, and equipment. And with each one, you'll see fiscal year 25 and subsequent fiscal years at the top, and then future years. And then throughout the columns, I have totals of different amounts about things that we've talked today. So if you look at transportation, we've talked about the police vehicle and the compact pickup truck that we would like to purchase within the budget. So that would come out currently to a total of $89,331. I don't have anything in the capital improvement plan this year for Parks and Rec. Some things in subsequent years, depending on grants. You see that's about some to be determined line item for revenue. Equipment, that would include the things that we talked about today: the trench box, compact tractor, the trailer, soft wire armor vest. I have the speed limit signs in there go to the next page, we'll talk about public facilities. And that has that broken down into each individual thing that's within that category. So, we have the space feasibility study for Public Works and Town Hall. I just have those as placeholders for 5,000 apiece. I have not received the cost estimate and the scope of work from the architect, so I don't have the final number on that. That's currently not in the budget for this year, because I don't have those numbers. Depending on what it is, it may be something that we don't prioritize this year. It may be something that, Aaron and Zach and I sit down and say, well, it's more important that we work to replace this water line over here instead of building a building. So we want to apply for funding to do that with the infrastructure over building this building. So we'll continue to prioritize projects for that. They would like to have a sewer plant metal building to store a tractor down there, and we could also store our town Christmas tree in it as well to give it a little bit more circulation and air. It's not stuck in that trailer all year round, especially in the hot months of the summer. I have that in fiscal year 26. It's a $30,000 investment, and that's something that you would have to approve with the capital improvement plan for fiscal year 26. We approve the capital improvement plan, you'll just be approving the expenditures out of it for the fiscal year 25, and then obviously you'll be approving the plan as a whole, but all the things in 26 and beyond can be reprioritized and moved up and shifted around, and obviously we can bring something forward if we come across some great funding and stuff like that. System development fees, that's going to be something that we'll need to talk about in the future. A lot of municipalities have these. Some municipalities don't. Some jurisdictions don't. These are development fees that you pay to small and large developers when they develop within your community and they hook on to your infrastructure. And those are fees that go straight to capital expenditures in the future. So it is required by general statute that you have an engineering firm or an accounting firm do a system development fee study for you. That is a $30,000 cost. So if we were going to implement those fees in the future, we would have to pay for that fee study. So that's something that I have in future years that we can continue to talk about as we gain more information about that. Let's move on to the next page, transportation. You can see the Colorado, truck steering currently utilizes is state contract pricing is $32,331. The Ford Explorer it's about $42,000. It's going to take about $10,000 to $12,000 to equip the vehicle. So we have that in there at $54,000. It's an $86,000 $331 total expense. Those explanations below. The utility vehicle is the side-by-side. I'm not exactly sure how much that costs, so I'll just put that as a placeholder at $40,000 fiscal year 27. So I can come up with some more accurate price on that, depending on the type of one. Some of them you can get for as cheap as $18,000. Some of them you can spend $80,000, $90,000, depending on what you want. And then we do have another police vehicle slated to be purchased in fiscal year 26 and 27, depending on the statuses of our fleet. The next page is Parks and Recreation. We don't have anything currently in this year, fiscal 25. I do have $20,000 both for a master plan and greenway feasibility study in 26. That can be changed depending on the direction you want to head in those, and availability and grant funding. When we did a greenway feasibility study in Bessemer City, it was about $22,000. I do have the bathroom construction highlighted. We have that in fiscal year 29, about $250,000. I just put it kind of pretty high because, in our opinion, from staff, it would be better to just demolish the current Octagon building that's used as restrooms and construct a new one.
Preach, bro.
We would like a little bit of direction on that. Is that something that you would rather you want us to look at trying to take on individually, or would you want that to be a part of a master plan that came with the park to, roll into some usual grant funding that we apply for those upgrades to the park?
I personally thought the bathroom needs to be addressed the sooner the better. And
One route we could go with the bathrooms, same way we done Shelter 6, which was look at the high school.
Let the high school students do it, yeah.
And then you save on labor from that. That just costs money.
I say any partnership we could have with the construction
Yes.
kids at the high school is fabulous.
because they have to do so many
Yeah.
projects a year to maintain so they can continue.
I would like to see a stage in the front, bathrooms in the back. That's one structure,
Yeah.
and knock it all out in one thing.
Yeah.
One footprint.
I agree.
If we're going to stage, right, if we're going to have host events down there, and really, if you're gonna do it, you might as well, and if we're going to get a grant to do some other things, and maybe that's part of the grant, but
Did you say a permanent stage? Because according to what I heard, we cannot build a permanent stage at Matheson Park. That's what Matheson,
We need to get that agreement out where Mr. Matheson donated the land to the town, but George, correct me if I'm wrong, cannot be an amphitheater. And I don't know about a permanent stage, I think we'd have to read that fine print to make sure.
Well,
Yeah,
we
there
would-
are some clauses in
I
that.
think,
that
that isn't there a no alcohol clause in it?
Well,
There's not a no alcohol clause in it?
The last I looked at it, it's more towards the.
remember when Ronnie wanted to build a movable stage that could be moved throughout the town? And they could move it into, Matheson Park, a stage that was be transported by a tractor trailer?
Yeah.
Or a
I
truck?
think
It was built on a trailbase.
Put it on, so.
I don't think
Remember
it had
that.
I don't think there was a stipulation in there that it couldn't have a permanent stage. I don't remember that.
That's
I
fine.
think, but I did think it had a non-alcohol clause in it, but if it doesn't have a non-alcohol clause in it, then that opens up the door for lots of different things.
And if you put it with the bathroom, there's some,
You can't, I know you cannot sell parking.
Right.
You can demolish it or turn it into something like to hold events in, like a place to be rented out, like for family meetings, something like that, type thing. We can get that out and have copies for everybody, so y'all can then decide what you can do, what you can't do, and then how you wanna proceed.
We put them in our boxes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, and I just have, for the Part F grant construction, I put in future years, $2 million. It'll probably cost a pretty hefty fee to add several different courts and recreational activities, build stadiums, build bathrooms, all that stuff. So that's just in there as a placeholder. We don't really know how much that costs. We won't know that until we do some type of plan and feasibility cost analysis study for that.
then we can put these lights. So intelligence lights. And Mooresville has downtown, they have speakers in them.
Yeah.
Every light has a speaker, and you can also set it up, it has a lot of different things, they're wired, so you'd have to wire them all. But since Matheson Park, we want lights down there, but for safety, they've got the buttons you can push, and it'll do that as well on those lights. So you could tie those speakers into the stage somehow, and
It was all Wi-Fi.
is it Wi-Fi? Okay. But I know the lights have to be wired in, like, for a power source, but instead of the solar ones. But yeah, I think that would be ahead of the game. that was just something to throw in, but here's a, paper we got from that.
And the other light guy that we got these lights out here gave me one that's like a building light. Eric picked it up for me at the end of the thing, but it's a solar light, and so, I'm gonna attach it to the building up there at the store. I haven't decided where, but I'm gonna look at how it does and how it works with those awnings. And then I may possibly just myself purchase 2 more to go up there to make it, that part look good, and then, cause he said they're like $200 a pop, so if they work and they work well.
Is it kinda like a wall pack?
Well, it's got a big arm and it comes out and it's got that bell.
And it makes you remind me of like a style of this room is, it's older style, like,
Yeah.
pretty fancy looking like.
That's nice.
They also have a new light coming out this year, it's a big, like the 3 one we have out here that's, we're trying out. They have one big one, so a single, it's cheaper too.
It's a bigger,
I think the 3 is like 1,000 lumen, is that right? That's a 750, the one big one. So it's- anyway, sorry.
Alright, if you go to the next page, we have our equipment. You can see this year we have our compact tractor, push hog, head trailer, trench box. Tasers, those are listed down in fiscal year 29, because that's the year that we will have to repurchase those tasers. So we're going to look at putting that on the schedule 5 years from now. We have the solar power speed lights in there, just highlight, because those are currently not in the budget. They're about a little over $3,000 a piece. So we about $12,250 to get 3 of those. Depending on who you go through and what type of package you get, it can be different prices. But when we looked at, it did come with data. You have this program where it tells you how many people would buy it, how many people were going over the speed limit, how many people were going the speed limit. So the police department can have that if we went with those. So, and then obviously below that, you have your revenues and on the other pages. So what, if they're coming out of the budget, if we're pulling those from fund balance, if we got a grant for that, if we don't know how we're gonna fund that yet, like right now, you can see that the speed limit signs are to be determined, because we haven't decided on if the person's gonna know this year or not, because right now there isn't money in the budget to purchase those, so technically right now we're not. We would like to have those, so. That is basically just outward facing document, the schedule of our capital improvement plan. So just real quick, our priorities right now are for the police department, we need a vehicle, we need 3 to 5 more vests. Public works, we need the tractor, the backhoe attachment, a flatbed trailer to haul it, trench box, push hog, and compact vehicle. As I discussed earlier, we haven't received any type of fee schedule for a facility. Kind of on hold until we get that. And we're going to continue discussing on which is a higher priority, building that facility or replacing the utility lines and how we can come across some of that stuff. Do I have any questions currently about where we are in the budget process? We did not have time, I had these budgets printed out, so we go through line item by line, but we haven't had time to do it today. So take these home and look through this and look at where some things have gone down, some things have gone up. You can tell in every department that liability and insurance is in there. That's because we don't know, because we haven't received our quotes yet from any of the brokers for our medical insurance. Property liability is gonna go up, so we're still waiting on those numbers. We do need to discuss, just real quick before we leave, we should have copies of the agreements that the COG sent us earlier in the year for planning and code enforcement, contracting. The first one is for planning. It's, in her email, Allison said that it would be $25,704 a year, but the contract says that the fee is not to exceed $51,408 for the 2-year period. So it does leave them room to increase that fee if they need to. If you look,
Not by much, does it? It doesn't leave them room to increase it, because that's just half of that number. So it's 25,000 per year, right?
26.
25/7.
25/7, that's just that number twice. Yes, exact,
then I misread that. So
yeah,
that's it. 2 years, 51,000.
yeah, so that's a guaranteed, that's,
That's 25,000 a year. If you
Yeah.
look at, the very last page of that agreement, technical is number one, zoning and subdivision code management. Technical assistance will be provided 1/2 day per week.
where are you reading that? On the fourth
It's
page?
the fourth page. It'll say work program, number
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
zoning and subdivision code management. Technical assistance will be provided 1/2.
So the town of
That
Canyon,
means they come here though, like, one day, but that doesn't mean like, they can still be working on things back in their office. Or does that just mean they're just working on it one day?
They're just working on it here on half day, so.
Half of one day, so 4 hours.
yeah,
4 hours a day
Is that 20 a month?
per week.
that says town of Canyon,
That's just because they didn't change that in their
It's
original contract.
copy paste.
It's copy paste.
that's what I figured.
So, if you, Mark, have you told them that it's got the wrong?
Yeah, I mean, before we actually, if we were to enter into this agreement, we would make sure that yes. That would be 16 hours a month. So we have 192 hours a year. Which we're paying them about $134 an hour to be here for 4 hours a week.
And does that include travel? I
It
think
does.
that, I think they do tack on additional travel.
Local government will pay expenses related to conferences, conventions, seminars, local travel.
That's if we ask them to go to a conference.
I don't think that includes travel here and there. I think that's what I read in there, that that's in there.
In my opinion, I don't think that's necessarily a great contract. So 134 hours, $134 an hour just for 4 hours a week. You know, I mean, planning and zoning isn't overly cumbersome, you know, just from the initial, zoning permit numbers I've got from the county. You know, 2023, we had 63 zoning permits the whole year. It wasn't a lot, but I mean, if they're only here on Mondays, when somebody comes in on Tuesday, they're gonna have to wait till the following Monday to have their permit reviewed, unless I or somebody else can do it. And if that's the case, then I or somebody else should just do it to begin with, so that way it gets.
But this is my, and back to the other thing, even with the, planning and, Main Street coordinator, you said that the manager could do it. This is why I don't want that. I don't want any of y'all to put more on you than you have to. Does that make sense? Because I think to make this town better, we need to work. As a business, yeah, you want to put as much on your employees as you can, but also you don't want to overburden. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand that, but we don't wanna pay somebody $134
No,
an hour.
no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I don't want you to, or you, somebody to take it on that would, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, it's,
Feel
yeah,
compensated.
it's gonna be hard, because you're gonna have to learn the code.
Yeah.
You have to read it, study it, learn it front and back. be able to, people bring stuff in here, to know whether it's right or wrong, and, you know, it takes time to do that. So it's just something we need to think about as we move closer to finalizing this budget, putting it together.
How much would a part-time cleaner, what is the ballpark now?
I mean, at our,
You probably could get somebody that's educated in it too, I think.
Well, I definitely want somebody that knows what they're doing.
Well,
I don't want Band-Aid.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, you know.
Yeah, right.
I mean, even if you pay them $15, $16 an hour, it'd be $21,000 a year.
So you could do the $25,000 a year for one person, and they'll be here every single day.
Or if they were part-time, maybe,
That would be part-time.
if they were part-time, they'd be here
For
like
the year.
3 days a week.
Every day of the year would be a lot more than that.
They could be here like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, say it was like a retired person and had planning experience, then it's coming in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and have a 4-day weekend, because you're retired. But they would at least be here 3 days a week.
Right.
I don't know how easy it's gonna be to find somebody like
That's,
that.
that's.
You know, I don't know how easy that's gonna be, to find somebody that's willing to do planning and Main Street, 20 hours a week.
Because I know from what we've discussed, there's a lot that we're wanting to be done. So this person's job is gonna be, it's not gonna be a easy street kind of job.
You know, and you also have to look at, you know, we're gonna have to pay them the same rate we pay our other part-time employees, because we can't bring them in at something higher and then pay the people here that are also part-time something incredibly less. You know, does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Is this in the budget?
No. No.
But this is gonna be happening July 1st, when the county stops, right?
One way or the other.
Yeah.
So this isn't something we can, it's on the front lines.
So based on previous years, how many planning and zoning things do we have for you?
Not mid-60s.
So that's approximately 1.1 per, 1.2 per month?
That's about.
I mean, per week?
Yes.
How?
You have to think we have a 191 unit residential subdivision that's coming.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, whoever this is, is gonna have a lot to start taking on, because we're wanting to really reach up
So
to
we're
the
gonna have a
here.
lot of projects that this person's doing.
I believe that 191 unit, whatever, when I see it, because we've approved how many of these other things in the
Is this the
last
one
5
out on-
years.
Out on, Happy Plains,
Yes.
Is
that
this
property
from
is
Progressive?
up for sale. That property went back on the market.
The one behind, across from Scotts?
Yeah.
You went back on the market?
Is the original owner selling it, or is, a broker through Eagle Engineering selling it? Because, just because it's on the market doesn't mean the project's dead. The, you know, original firm could be putting all the plans in place to just sell it to a builder. And then the builder comes in, once everything's permitted and ready, they just start moving dirt and take off. So I don't know what the case is, that maybe it may have fallen through and they haven't contacted us.
I don't know the scenario, I just know it's back on the market.
I'll check into that.
I wasn't trying to be negative, I was just.
I do know for a fact.
All those other housing developments and
Yeah.
stuff that we've approved, and nothing's happened in 5 years, not one grain of sand has moved.
Yeah. I know for a fact there's gonna be some housing units built right here at the railroad tracks, on the other side of the road. I talked to those personally, and they're just deciding whether they're gonna put 3 duplexes or 2 triplexes.
And those are
Whatever
local.
one does, the other's gonna do the same thing, so it'll be either 4 triplexes or 3 duplexes.
And the other one's for code enforcement, so it's about $13,000 to $14,000 a year.
You know, what's interesting, we paid the county $18,000 a year for code enforcement.
For planning, 18.5, and then building code is 1,000. So, pay up $1,000 a year, I think we got $1,000 for. But I heard good things about the Dallas code enforcement department, so. But that's also currently not in the budget, because we're in the red department, so we'll have to talk about that at the beginning of April, before I get you more information on who's really gonna go. That is all I have for the budgets. Aaron, do you have anything?
Honestly, I don't. If I can think of it.
All good.
Go.
Thank you.
Might do.
Yeah,
I've been quiet over this whole time.
Yeah, man, I've been cleaning out. I don't really have a lot of Nate covered pretty much everything. He just kept hitting on it. But if you want to see those street signs for the speed, you can take a look at those. That's what they look like. We also, you can put messages on those boards there. If you so choose to do that. I mean, if you want to stop speeding, it's, but what it also does is it calculates every, car that comes by. If the car is speeding, it will record it, and we'd still have all that information, whether that was,
We would have
Can you have it like,
traffic count.
it could go on a pole like that, like a regular street sign, or you could, it costs you just a little bit more to put clamps to put it around telephone poles, something of that nature.
We're gonna put one right behind your house.
Yeah.
Can you put a paint gun?
Jack, we got you covered down there. This thing's gonna be.
does this one go to like, when it gets to like, when they're running 50, it goes
It
to
can give you a
50 and then it
message.
starts screaming at you, slow down?
Yeah, or the
They do
color
that
of
in
it could
states.
change from
Once
blue or
it's
something that tells you
At
that
a
you're
certain speed, they start saying slow down.
5-0's looking at you or something of that nature.
Massive catastrophe to have, transfer for today.
Right.
Just came through our lights. I thought they're gonna, he's gonna knock every one of those lights down. He was flying. I was like, oh, this is not really good. But
Let's
he made
see.
it through. I took it out. He made it through. He was not 135 or 25 or even close.
So they come with a black and yellow backgrounds to them. They UMTCD, which is what you have to have a certain type signs to put them up in anywhere. The state everywhere has to have a uniform. Basically, what it is a uniform sign that can't be changed, or you can't have it in different ways, like the regular street sign out there. So it has to follow certain regulations. Of course, Nate's already told you the cost of that if you chose to get that, but it's not a high priority for us as far as buying something. Now, if we have it, obviously we'll use it real well, because it would probably slow everything down, and plus it would tell us where speeding is in certain areas, because it gives you that information that you need. Then we can set up on those areas and get an accurate, justification for it. Let's see. Number one, I appreciate all of you. The pay study. The pay study was great, and it helped us out tremendously. And it put us in a competitive nature where, like I was at CVCC last night, not CVCC, but Mitchell last night doing some recruiting. And there's a couple of good people down there that's come through. Hopefully that we'll be able to get them I mean, right now we're fully staffed, but we could quickly be under that shortly, just when one person, quits, or even with part-time right now, we don't really have any part-time other than Gordon Knight. So being able to stay in a position where we're rotating vehicles and equipment and all those things, that everything you're doing for us is important, and we appreciate it. I just didn't want to go any day without saying that, because it's important for us to continue to grow in that fashion, because the moment we're not is the moment we're losing those good officers to other places like we've been doing. So we would hope that the pay scale and everything continues to climb in the right direction, so we don't have to worry about competing so much with these other places. Right now we can compete because we are a agency that can give you everything in policing. Like if you go to Charlotte to work for them, you may end up in the traffic division and never see any other part of policing, and that will be all you know anywhere you go. Let's say it gives us, when we recruit, we say you learn all the policing, so you get to do everything, so you know exactly if you chose to go somewhere else. That's why most people use us for training, because basically we've been a training ground for years for everyone. Let's see, we're going to need, and I don't think Nate mentioned this, but radios. At some point along the line, they're going to change the network for radios. We don't know what that is right now, so we can't exactly say. But right now, we're probably looking at $1,500 a radio. Maybe it's something that we don't have to do a lot change with. Maybe it's not. We don't know. Also, like right now, we got 2 computers that have been down. We're maxed out on our computers. That computers are like $2,500. We need at least 2 on this coming budget, and Zach's probably already told me no, but 3. But we would like some on in the years past, so we need to make sure that the last ones we got are how old they're about.
Going on, they were bought with the initial COVID money back in late 2020. That was the CARES Act money that law enforcement got before ARPA become available to everybody. So they're 4.5, 5 years old.
And the reason we're needing that too is because we're taking on the 2 SROs, and they'll also need that type of equipment to be able to do their work on. And we don't know, how long those are good for. But so far we've been good with computers. We don't really have a lot of issues with them. For some reason, 2 of them went out at the same time this time, but Aaron's done a good job putting them back on the market for us, or putting them back to working, and we appreciate him too for that. We also are planning we're gonna do a septic fence for the public. We're gonna do it for free. It's gonna be marked as the police department is putting it on. We'll probably do it down at Pure Grit, because that's where my school's at, and I can have access to it. It costs no one nothing, but we would like to put some type of, we're gonna do some small sample videos that maybe, hopefully we can get them on one of our sites that says, show small things. We're gonna start trying to do a program where once or twice a week we'll have one of our officers come on, and they're gonna give some type of tips of getting in the elevator, getting in the car, getting in, I don't know what it is. Everything you can possibly think of, we're gonna try to, so the public know that what we're doing out here, and it gives them opportunity to get some safety tips, even as far as your home goes, and keeping your home secure and things of that nature. We're back at Crime Stoppers, and hopefully Crime Stoppers will have our badge be on there along with the sheriff's badge on Crime Stoppers, because we're just as much a Crime Stoppers as they are, and it's good that we're gonna have our names on those things too. So other than that, I don't know if I covered it or not, but I'll let y'all go on. But thank you.
Not bad.
We'll say just real quick, the door for ABC store has been ordered, it's about a 3 to 4 week lead time, so when the company gets that, they'll, let us know the schedule on, putting that in. I am looking at, I've been talking with Tim on a hospital property and the town entering into a public-private partnership with him, but, project, there's a little bit of groundwork we need to do on that.
What project?
Hospital project.
But what's the project? What are you doing?
We don't know that, we're still figuring it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I am going to have an initial site visit next week with like structural engineers, you can come out and look at the building, look at the site and see what it would take to do like a full scale analysis, how much that would cost. So we'll do that, and he's looking at having an engineering report done for the asbestos and the soil and stuff out there. He did get a more recent quote for the demolition of that building, which was a little under $400,000, which is a lot better than the last one he got, which was just a little bit under $800,000. So, continue to work on that. Next week I'll be in Raleigh on Wednesday, meeting with some of our legislators. I did speak with a representative from Millersville Christian Academy earlier today. They're going to do a 5K in town in November. It's November the 8th. So I talked to the chief about that. They're going to hire some of our officers off duty to help block off streets and do that. So that'll be good. And, we interviewed a few people for Nicole's current position, which will be vacating and assuming EO's position April 1st. Those went well. We have a few interviews scheduled for next week, so we'll keep you updated on that as we move forward with that. Last thing is the COG has their annual meeting on Thursday, April 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. in Hickory. Do any of y'all want to go to that and get you registered for it?
When is it?
Thursday, April the 10th.
That's the one we went to last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thursday, April the 10th, from when to when?
6 to 8 p.m. It is free. So,
I thought we all went
Yeah,
last
we
year.
were.
Everybody did.
yeah.
Hickory Metro Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the same place.
Well, one last thing for Eric. Car goes in the shop tomorrow. I just
Just let me know if you want to go to that. and I'll
The
make
black
sure.
one, that's it.
Oh, okay. It's all ticketing.
That is.
I do know
That's
some
on
of
the
that.
agenda item about Main Street.
You can tell him. Zach, he's gonna go first and.
Well, one last thing, you know, after I ate this pepperoni, I thought about the adding the money to the landfill. You know, what was it now, $15?
Yes,
$13.
environmental fee, yeah.
Everybody sitting here, we'd be able to explain that better to the public than raising the taxes. I mean, that's what it's costing us.
Yeah.
So we're just passing it through.
I mean, it is a business service.
So I think we can explain that better than saying, oh no, we're gonna raise taxes and we got this other stuff we're gonna do in town, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think we ought to confuse the two. This is what it's costing us, we gotta pass it on to, you know, we have to pay it too.
Yeah. I mean, we pay for our own person.
Even though it'll be a sharper increase, you're exactly right, it's gonna be easier to explain, because they're gonna say higher tax, they raise our taxes. They bought a Christmas tree and raised our taxes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's right.
Even though it's halfway
Yeah.
paid for.
Even though Even though it came out of your pot of money, like they're.
Exactly, they don't know that, because they don't know.
Yeah, but saying that we raised it $7 to make it $22 and that's what it cost us, that's what it's costing you. And then when they come back and say, well, blah, 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 you can say, well, we could have gotten rid of it altogether and it would have cost you $30 a person.
Yeah.
So,
And let it be known that the town's been eating $5,
Per person.
okay? We've been eating that, so to be a good steward of the tax money, we all want to share it.
And we're not gonna bill them for the money we paid them last year. We'll give them a break.
So, that's why
Can we have
I have-
headlines
Go
as
ahead, Ken.
town raised it $7? Can we explain that a little
Yeah.
bit in the headline?
Take your information and let AI write it for you, and we'll send it to me. Okay, so Bobby Campbell reached out to me and he said, idea. Take the feed mill property and it's 2+ acres. Call it Apple City Farmers Market, live music, hospitality corner with craft beer, apples, maize meats, honey, farmer's daughter, flowers, food trucks. Said, sounds great, we'll talk to the council and Nathan at the next meeting. And then, a fire horn went off and I videotaped it and sent it to him and said, be thankful for the one you have. And then, he said, ha ha, that's really loud. And then, we talked a little bit more and he said, what ways would the town partner to do the farmer's market with me and not one with Confederate flags and stolen power tools? So we're riding down the road and, we are talking about it, and Vicky says, so he don't reply to my next 3, quit, I don't know what I did. He doesn't reply to the next 3 things that I said to him, but I said, take a look at the Biggers Market in Wilmington and tell me what you think, if you're really interested. You know about the Biggers Market in Wilmington? So everybody look at the Biggers Market in Wilmington, North Carolina. And it's exactly what he explained.
Sell local produce?
It sells produce, and so the partnership is that it's not, so like you wouldn't probably use Mace Meat, you'd probably use Chapman's Cattle Company. And it's just like that, in his building, that's a historic building, he would have a freezer set up that had Chapman Cattle Company stuff in there, and he would sell it out there. He'd have stuff from the farmer's daughter, and he sells it out there.
Well, if you do Chapman, you're doing away with Maze Meats.
No, you're not.
They do the same thing.
We could offer it to Maze Meats as well, but I mean, why would Maze Meats want to have it down here and up there? I mean,
What's the property you're talking about, sir?
He's wanting to do a public, this right behind the hotel.
Oh, the little feed store.
Yeah, in the old feed store.
Yeah,
And so you have and it's a big field, so it includes that building and the block building that's behind it.
The one that
So
Landon
there
used
may
to own?
be,
The one that Coughlin used to own?
Main copy.
No, that's across.
That's across from
Yeah, where the
This is
Galatian
before the
budget is right there in the yard.
This is
Okay.
before the.
Yeah.
It's a
so you
fun-
could be a sound stage over there, just look at the Biggers Market, but what it is,
Okay.
is
It includes both leases.
it's kind of like a vendor mall, like you have an antique mall, but you've got a vendor mall, and so you've got these different places that he named off in there that's set up in there. And somebody comes in and they pay whatever, and then he keeps a percentage of whatever they agree upon with his vendors and gives them the rest of their money back. And then he calls them and says, okay, we're about out of hamburger, or we're out of this, or, you know, yeah. But I mean-
Maybe utilizing the building or just the lawn
Huh?
for the sell off of?
It'd be the building and the lawn.
It'd be all of it, because if you look at that Biggers Market, you've got a sound stage and you've just got lights straight up back there. It would create a soft space in town, people could gather, you could have live music there. And like he said, with the beer garden in it, that you could have a drink, go outside. And she says that when she goes to Wilmington to see her niece and her niece and their family, that they meet there every time. And there's always something going on that the kids can do and stuff around there. I mean, it's just, if you look at the stuff from that website, it's good, but, I don't know how would you partner with him to do it? He's offering it up as a partnership, so what? He owns the property, and he also went through the process and paid the money to get it designated as a historical building.
Because it's not in our district. It's not in our, in the historic.
It's attached to it, but
Yeah,
it's not
it's
part
not
of the downtown
it's not.
historic
Is
district.
there a demand here for a farmer's market?
I think that would go really well. If you had a big, so you don't have a bar anymore. So if you had a beer garden in there, or whatever he called it, and you had vendors that you can't get like right here, you know, like farmer's daughter could come up and set up, and maybe does or maybe doesn't. Does she set up at the farmer's, at the
I'm
county?
not seeing Farmer's Daughter up here in front of the service center building.
Yeah,
But that hasn't
So,
started yet. That's only in the summertime.
yeah, but this place is open year round. Like, if you look at that model that they have going on there, it goes on a 10 or 11 months out of the year. It runs until December. They do Christmas stuff there. So like part of our Christmas could be there. And you could run buggies out there. Then we don't have to use, like if he was willing to do that kind of partnership with us too, then we don't have to rely on the county and have to jump through hoops and sign papers and give them money, and did they give us our money back?
I don't know if anyone asked for it, I don't know.
Did they refund our money for using the park?
What you said?
We were supposed to have paid them X amount of dollars and then they were supposed to refund it.
We will check on
I don't think it's supposed to be in refunding.
it. We haven't, yeah,
But we'll check.
Or maybe it was a Todd thing and he let them written up as a refund, but in years past, we wrote them a check and then they wrote us a check back.
Well, they didn't charge us for the power either.
Okay.
Christmas tree, so.
So we won't push it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will check, send me Bobby's number, sit down, and just talk about
Yeah.
what that looks like, go over some ideas and stuff.
Yeah, because it'd be great to do something right there on that side of town and then do something out at the hospital and, you know.
And so,
Don't tell me.
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm not saying it.
And so what about you didn't talk any about Main Street? If we don't do it this time, then, we have to wait 2 more years.
that doesn't mean you can't do great things in your town, in your small town, just because you're not a part of their program. You can still do Main Street endeavors, and still have a great small downtown, and do economic development and community development in your town, even if you don't have a tag on you that says you're Main Street.
But is there a time, I didn't think there was a timeline attached to having the person employed while you were the first,
So
the first 2
the email I got
years.
today was, you know, they would need to be in place by the end, but they would rather than be in place at the beginning, because.
Did you explain to them that you had experience
Yeah,
in that
they,
area?
then.
But that's why they said
But, yeah.
you can do it.
But I mean, also at the same time, we can't put $30,000 into the Main Street program, or the $10,000, it's just the budget to the side when the sanitation department was $90,000 in the red. Because then we don't have the 10,000 put there. Because we have to budget from the beginning, 10,000 in a line item for Main Street. And if the other department is $90,000 in the red, we can't justify spending $10,000 on a new endeavor when our current endeavors are not balanced.
So you're suggesting that we just go ahead with our Main Street objective, but just hold off on the Main Street tag?
I'm suggesting you raise the fee to $7.
And
Yeah.
so that we have the money to,
Then we don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it. Once he takes care of that red,
so if we vote to raise the fee to $7 and that out, then we can find the $10,000 to do the, okay.
that's what he said.
Now I vote we go choice number 1 and move forward.
Yeah.
And Eric writes the article for the paper explaining.
Now you just need to make a headline.
Yeah, you're Mayor Pro Tem.
That's what you.
Because that's the only thing they're gonna read is the headline.
Okay, I got 2 questions, and one is, did you already mention the website? Have you had any update on it?
Yeah, I can send you I'll send you a link to where you can go look at.
I went and looked at it, but how is it
It's
progressing?
good, they've done that, added the police department page, it's not finished, but they added the page for the police department, they added our agendas and minutes page, they're gonna, just keep adding different pages and stuff, so I will send
Do
you.
they have a estimated
paid your dues.
Yeah, they are.
So you can send the link to all of us, so we won't have it.
It's really good.
So it's even more than what the link was before?
Yes.
Okay. And then the roundabout study. Did we discuss that before? Did that study come back?
It's not come back yet.
But it's
He
still out?
sent me the updates every Friday. They had to get a new traffic count for the study. They got it last Friday, so they're proceeding forward with,
Because you would not believe how many people ask me how the roundabout's coming, because they want it. I'm serious, but we get blasted on Facebook, but face to face, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just face to face, but yeah, they said it's a good idea. Help you out with speed.
Yes, that would.
Right. But you think it'll be a while before it's implemented, even if it's.
oh, yeah.
Or
So,
before he's
for
in
the
the
state.
study.
My question is, they come back with a study, what is our next move?
We'll turn it over to the state.
This is.
Yeah, but don't we have to pick, won't they give us options, like, this is an option, that is an option, that is an option?
Like how we want it.
Like how we want, where we want them,
Oh,
if
for
we
the
do
study?
want them.
Yeah.
They'll probably tell us whether.
Kind of like.
Where they're
Yes.
feasible,
Yeah,
it's a
they're
feasibility study, so they'll say, you can do it here, this one won't work, this is what it would look like. And we don't have an idea as to,
But the whole objective is to get that whole center area, because that's where you get to remove your center turn lane and open up your
Correct.
diagonal parking all the way. So that's the main goal, and then you've got your outlier here and your outlier down the Y point.
So the main goal is if we can get two
In the middle.
in the middle to do, is it three?
Yeah.
Where's the third one?
It'd be here,
Y.
the next one, and then over Star Road.
do you really think there's enough room here for roundabouts? Those three roads.
They would be, they have to have 60, 50 is the minimum. I think they said they were measuring them off for 60.
You talking about right here by Joel's office?
Yeah. That would be
Because
where,
that does.
that would be
that's
where
the
it would
line.
start. That's where it goes from the 4 lane down to
We
the
wouldn't need one there.
Uh-huh.
Do what?
I wouldn't think we would need one there.
But it's to get to make it, it's aesthetic thing at that point.
To take the lane out, because that's where that lane starts.
Yeah.
And you won't do away with that, just have two. And then we can free up the sides for
Okay.
the,
Right.
that was our whole, that's the thing.
So do we have a timeline?
I would say it would be ready within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
The track, the study.
The whole, yeah,
Okay.
the finalized study. That was about the timeline it was after they got the traffic count the last time. Don't hold me to it though,
Oh, yeah.
you never know
Yeah.
with them, but that was from prior experience, how long it took.
And then when do we think it'll go out for bids?
Well, wait a minute. You're looking at Mark Stafford, who was over Zone 12 with the Transportation Department. I sit on the TAC board 20 years.
20 years what?
You see these roundabouts.
No, I'm saying, that they're gonna come and repave in the next little bit, because they did in front of your house, they did in the other. And I thought this was supposed to be a part of, like, if the plan is in place, that when they repave, they repave it all.
The restriping and the parking places, yeah. The construction of roundabouts is a different story, because those cost millions of dollars. So if the state has the funds to put in our roundabouts, they can, they will, but they probably won't. Because
So what about crosswalks? Is that the same deal? Like, if it's designed that we want crosswalks with this, blah, 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 and they come through and repave.
yeah, they'll repaint the crosswalks.
Like lighted crosswalk, signs and all that on the sidewalk.
Walk and don't.
Walk, don't walk.
Because I
all
get that
good
a
stuff.
lot.
The safety stuff, you know what you're.
I'm not sure.
With people walking, we have a lot of
I'll have
walkers.
to ask.
Yeah.
I'll have to find
And
out.
I get that a lot.
That's why we brush it.
Don't walk signs.
Yeah.
How we
So
don't.
that we just hit it with the,
To get it through with, that was the understanding.
I'll have to
Right.
ask.
They had already, paving project was already put together. The striping part was just a small portion that they could get done at that point. But as the project to bid out for the paving, that part was ready. So that's why it was a rush to get that in there so it would get the striping done before they repave. But the roundabout part is a separate construction. They'll have to engineer it, they'll have to design it and all that for the construction, and then that would have to be bid out. But it basically gets put on their CIP.
So when is, so they've already bid this off, so when will they restrike and change it?
They have the design, they're not bid it out yet. I don't
Okay,
think.
that's what I thought, we're still waiting on the bid to come in.
But isn't there a concern with Main Street, water and sewer lines, that if we want to replace those,
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be better to do it before they repave?
correct, or
As they're repaving,
put the project together where water and sewer finishes, the
and they
repaving
pave it.
happens, and then we don't have to worry about either patching or having to repave to do that.
You got one more minute. Zach, I'm setting the clock, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. That's it.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.